You ever feel like you're running on a treadmill, working harder and harder, but not actually getting anywhere? Most people spend their entire lives on this treadmill, grinding away, hoping that one day all that effort will finally pay off. They're stuck on the first rung of a ladder they don't even know exists. But the path to real freedom, the path to taking back control of your time and your life, is crystal clear. It's a three-step ladder. You start as a worker, you become a builder, and then you ascend to an owner. If you try to skip these steps, or worse, if you never even start climbing, you stay trapped forever. So what's really going on here? Why do so many hardworking people feel stuck? It's because the world doesn't reward raw effort alone. It never has. True leverage, the kind that creates wealth and freedom, comes from moving up what I call the operator ladder. Let's break it down. At the bottom, you have the worker. This is someone who trades their time directly for money. Think of an employee with an hourly wage or a freelancer billing for their time. The problem is, when you stop working, the money stops coming in. Your income is directly tied to the hours you can physically put in. This is a linear game. Next up, you have the builder. Builders are different. They create systems that multiply their output. They're not just trading their own time. They're building something that can work without their constant, direct involvement. This is where you start to see real leverage. And at the very top, you have the owner. Owners control the assets that generate compounding returns. They own the systems, the products, the equity. Their wealth grows even when they're not actively working. The hard truth is that most people never climb past the worker stage. They get really good at optimizing their hours, trying to squeeze more productivity into their day, but they're still just trading time for money. They're optimizing the wrong thing. Operators, the people who really understand this game, know that true freedom, influence, and wealth are only available to those who intentionally ascend this ladder. Let's dive deeper into each of these rungs. First, the worker. As a worker, you are fundamentally trapped by time. Your income is a direct function of the hours you put in. For example, allow your billing by the hour, a graphic designer charging per project, or a salaried employee getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. The moment you take a vacation, get sick, or just decide to take a day off, your earning potential drops to zero for that time. Your growth is linear. You can try to ask for a raise or find a higher paying job, but you're still capped by the 24 hours in a day. There's no scalability, no compounding. You are the machine, and if the machine stops, everything stops. It's a recipe for burnout, not a strategy for freedom. Now let's talk about the second rung, the builder. This is where the magic starts to happen. Builders amplify their output. They stop being the machine and start building the machine. They create systems, they build teams, or they develop products that multiply their impact far beyond what they could achieve alone. A great example is a software engineer. As a worker, they could get paid for their coding hours. But as a builder, they create a piece of software, a product that can be sold to thousands or even millions of people simultaneously. Or think of a small business owner who creates standardized processes and hires a team to execute them. The business can now serve customers even when the owner isn't there. Builders trade their initial effort for leverage, not just for a one-time cash payment. Their work starts to have a life of its own. This brings us to the top of the ladder, the owner. Owners are the ones who truly capture the value created. They control the assets. Their wealth isn't tied to their labor anymore, it's tied to their ownership. An owner could be the startup founder who holds a significant equity stake in the company they built. Even if they step away from day-to-day operations, they benefit from the company's growth. An owner could be an investor who owns shares in multiple businesses, reaping the rewards of their collective success. A content creator who builds a YouTube channel owns an asset that can be monetized for years through ads, sponsorships, and merchandise long after the videos were made. Ownership is what unlocks compounding returns and genuine freedom. It's the difference between earning a living and building a fortune. Your assets work for you 24/7 without ever needing a break. So how do you actually climb this ladder? This is the most important part. Ascending the ladder requires strategic moves, not just more motivation or hustle. You can't just grind your way from worker to owner. It's about strategic positioning and intentionally building leverage. The first step is to identify which rung you're on right now. Be honest with yourself. Are you trading time for money? You're a worker. Are you building systems that operate without you? You're a builder. Do you own assets that generate income? You're an owner. Once you know where you are, you can plan your next move. If you're a worker, your goal is to become a builder. This might mean turning your freelance service into a product. For example, instead of designing logos one by one, you could create a course on logo design or a template pack. You're building an asset. You're becoming a builder. If you're already a builder, your next move is to become an owner. How can you gain equity in the systems you're creating? If you're an employee who's building amazing things for a company, can you negotiate for stock options? If you're building your own business, are you retaining ownership or are you giving it all away? You transition from just building the machine to owning a piece of it. It's a conscious shift from creating value for others to capturing that value for yourself. Let's take a moment for the operator takeaway. I want you to do a quick audit of your own position on this ladder. Ask yourself 3 questions. First, which rung am I on right now? Worker, builder, or owner? Second, what is one system I can start building this month to help me climb one rung higher? Maybe it's documenting a process you do repeatedly so someone else can do it. Maybe it's outlining a digital product idea. And third, where can I acquire ownership or equity this quarter? This could be investing a small amount in the stock market, asking for equity in a project, or starting a side business where you own 100% of the upside. Your action item for today is this: pick one single move you can make that increases your leverage. Don't try to boil the ocean, just one small, concrete step. The focus has to shift from grinding to climbing. Because here's the secret: this ladder exists whether you pay attention to it or not. Most people will spend their lives at the bottom, completely unaware that there's a way up. Operators see the ladder and they climb it step by intentional step. So, is your goal to work for the rest of your life, or is it to build something that works for you? Now that you understand the ladder, you need to understand the fuel that gets you up it. That fuel is leverage. In the next video, we're diving deep into the leverage equation, where I'll break down exactly how systems, assets, and teams multiply your impact. If you're serious about moving beyond just working and want to start building real wealth, you won't want to miss it. Watching the next video is where climbing the ladder starts to feel like owning the entire board. Thanks for watching.